Okay, folks, here we go.
Here we go. Let's have a good show. 1B, stand by.
Yeah.
Yacht,
Yeah,
take it.
take it. And
Take
so
it.
right now, go to camera 3. 3, go to the perfect, just like that.
I'll just go ahead.
Yeah, graphics 2 is going to be up for the first.
Okay.
Go right now. Go to camera 3. Go. Yep. Go to the perfect, just like that. No music.
I'm going to have Q, Sophie.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it.
On radio in the Canal Zone.
All right, guys, mic check.
Go ready.
Okay, Ricky, mic.
Yep, I am ready.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Willie, mic check.
Yep, let's go.
1B, stand by.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
5,
4, 3, 2, 1, and we're live.
Okay, and go for it, guys.
All right, here we go, guys.
Here
it is
we
8
go.
p.m. Eastern Time. It's 5 p.m. Pacific Time and 7 p.m. Canal Zone Time. As always, it is Friday Night Happy at the Balboa Yacht Club. Ricky, how's it going, man? Happy Friday to you.
We are doing great. Thank you very much, Willie. Once again, everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Friday, our favorite day and our favorite hour of the day. Welcome to our weekly happy hour at the Balboa Yacht Club, a very iconic spot in the Canal Zone. Well, you guys, it's a Friday night podcast that brings you the Canal Zone right to your living rooms. All kinds of Canal Zone topics, from history to towns to social events. You name it, we'll cover it. And a happy hour where truly everybody knows your name.
Yes, indeed.
Guys, grab your drinks.
Absolutely.
Get ready to toast the eighth wonder of the world and a great show. We got a fun show coming up, by the way. So toast, and then we'll get right into it.
Yeah, we got our trivia wrapped up now correctly, so should be a lot of fun. And we'll obviously remind you throughout as we're doing it. But all you do in the chat, you don't have to download an app, you don't have to do any of those things. You just put in the number of the answer. It's multiple choice answers are 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay,
I'll remind everybody.
But one of the things that we noticed last week that some people were putting the pound sign,
The
like
pound
number
sign, right.
1. Just put 1 because the number, what it's doing is reading the first character.
Yeah.
And that's why we chose numbers versus letters, because if somebody wanted to chime in that wasn't answering, maybe just jumped into the show and heard a question and wanted to say, and the first letter they chime in, it would have looked at it as an answer. So what it's looking for is just the actual number, the digit, either 1, 2, 3, or 4. So, but anyway, that's
But it was a
coming up
trial
here
run last week.
It was.
Tonight we're gonna do the real deal. I mean, it was kind of real deal last time, but it was our first time, so we didn't really have all our act together like we do.
Yeah, it
today.
only tabulated 2 people.
I know. We even practice and everything, guys. So again, we'll have our rewards for the winner. We can get it to tabulate.
Yeah, it's gonna be
which is our very own sponsors, Howler Monkey Sauce.
Yep, they're going to give a 4-pack that we're giving away here to the winner. And again, if you're in Panama, we can't send. I tried to put it. I tried to test it to see if you can order to a Panama address, and it said unfortunately you can't. But what we'll do is do an Amazon gift certificate for the same value. So
yeah, that's right, correct.
We'll
figure out a way.
Either way,
yeah,
you'll get, either way, whether you're winning in Panama or here.
Our dictionary is not like when we first started, where we had all these fun questions like, what is mango banana paper or stuff like that, These are really like almost, you're almost going to get an engineering degree when you're done with our show.
And you know what's interesting is when I was working with one of the AI tools to build out the quizzes in order to pull the questions out of, the first time I did it, it would ask questions that, somebody in the States that is not familiar with the Panama Canal, maybe read a little bit about it in history, but that's about the extent of it. If anything, those questions were made for those people, right? What oceans does it, sandwich, things of that nature. But so I had to tell the AI, hey, listen, the audience here is Zonians, man. They can't be stupid questions like that. They have to be tough questions. Well, it took it to heart. And last week, I mean, they were some
tough. Yeah,
questions.
The ones tonight are pretty tough as well.
Yeah.
Well, guys, like always, don't forget to hit subscribe.
Yes.
And the notify, it really, really helps us. As of subscribers, as of today, guys, we're at right around 480 subscribers between the two channels. Willie, I really don't know how many subscribers we have to the Facebook, so I just got the numbers on the YouTube. But we love to get it to 500. That would be cool. I remember the days when we had
1,000. 1,000 is where you can actually monetize on YouTube. You have to
1,000?
have a minimum of 1,000. Yeah.
Well, I
So,
remember when
gotta
how
work
excited
out.
we were when we had 35.
Well, listen, there was a time when it was like 7.
Yeah, no, I get it. So
gotta
we
start
almost,
somewhere, right?
we almost have 500 viewers.
Right.
That's really cool, guys.
It's fun.
This is truly all Zonians. I mean, I'm sure there's other people, but mostly Zonians. Guys,
And
thank
if
you
you
so
want to,
much.
feel free to scan that QR code there and buy us a beer. We appreciate it.
beer.
Eric Anstus bought us a couple of beers this morning. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you
Appreciate it.
so much. Yes, guys,
But,
thank you.
let's
Thank
say
you.
hello to
Yeah,
some
those
folks
bills are
there.
coming up. But
Yeah.
viewer-wise, guys, we're averaging just over 200 a week. So, between the three platforms, so that's not bad for us. I mean,
Yeah.
we've had
cool.
both more and less, but it's averaging to about 200 a week. So between 800 and 900 a month. Right on, guys. So thank you very much. And truly the reason why we're here every Friday for over 2 years, because of the participation and the love that we get. And you guys deserve all this, all this history that, we research for you.
Sure. Well, let's say
So, yeah.
hello to some people and
Yeah,
send
let's
some
say
love
hello.
back too, and Leaf, how you doing? Go from
Hey, good
Leaf
to see
back
you,
down in
Leaf.
Panama. Good to see. Hope the family is doing okay. Vern, I know is working hard. Vern just finished a trek from Texas. He ran down to Texas, picked his folks up, and drove them back up north to move into Minnesota. So well done there, Vern. Glad you made it back
Wow.
safely.
It's
So.
going to be at least, 14, 20 hours?
Well, and this time of the year, they're dodging storms and everything because this is tornado season,
Yeah.
and he's driving from Minnesota to Texas. You're right in the heart of Tornado Alley
That's
there,
the
man.
Canal
So,
Zone way for our parents. man.
indeed. And Jim and Diane, good to see you guys. Hope all's well. Yes, absolutely. Send some rainy weather as we're going through a severe drought. Yeah, it has been it's been stop and go here in Florida. It's been kind of strange, but
Where's the severe drought?
well, most of Florida, they're still even though at this point by April you should be into the almost Florida's not that far off of what you have down in Panama.
Mhm.
There is a winter season, but it's very mild except the northern counties. But a lot of Florida, especially Central and South Florida, is very much a rainy and a dry season for the most part. Although it does have 4 seasons, you really could look at it as those two. And at this time of the year, most of Florida should be getting rain, right? It should be that time of the year. Now, careful what you wish for, because I did read that this is going to be either an El Nino or La Nina season coming in, and then it is supposed to be a very, very wet summer. So, we may be hearing, some complaints here soon. But at this point, yes, it is kind of dry. We sure do need it there. But good to see you guys. Happy Friday to you. Noyer, saludos. Noyer's got some great content, guys, adding a lot more really, really good content, on his social media channel. So definitely check him out. He's your Panama Railroad aficionado
we
and
need
expert.
to hook him up with Eftimitis, who's doing the railroad.
Yes,
on,
yes,
on
indeed.
his miniature display for the museum project that he's working on.
Yeah,
guys
Captain
need to
Andrew's
hook
working
up.
on a very
Yeah.
interesting project, a historical project about certain rail lines involved in canal construction and things of that
Yeah, yeah.
nature way back when, and it's just really cool what he's doing there. I'll let him when he's ready to
When
put
he's
it
ready
out
to come
what
on.
he's working on.
But the model he did of where the trains go get repaired, I mean, he did a good job of replicating that.
It looks
187th
authentic and weathered, right?
Yeah. It looks just
Yeah.
like the pictures.
It
187th
does, man.
scale.
Really great job that they're doing.
Well, he's going to have the train on his model is going to be a big feature. That's why I think
correct.
these guys would be a great connection.
No, absolutely, because Noyer certainly has a lot of data and knows where to find it when it comes to the Panama Railroad from and from even pre-canals one times when it was just a
good to see you,
private
young
entity
man.
there.
Good to see you.
Yes,
Keep up the good
indeed.
work.
Jim is from Wisconsin. We have they do. That's right. The Midwest. Listen, this is that time of the year for these guys, man. They definitely are experiencing that weather. It's Tornado Alley and it's tornado
Mark
season.
Cicero,
So,
class of 81. Hello,
yes,
Mark.
happy Friday to you. Salute, Mark. Good to see you, brother. Absolutely. Leaf Sully. I know I'm going to win, but I'll donate it to Willie. Do hot. Okay, right on. We'll give it to the runner up then if you win it. Okay, so that's a bold prediction there, but we'll take it. Good to see you, Eric.
Hello,
from
Eric.
Georgia.
Man, Eric answered right
And then,
on,
of
man.
course, good morning.
Wait, Eric,
Gavin.
what year did you graduate?
Let's go back to Eric here real quick.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead and throw that in when you get a chance there,
when
Eric.
you get a chance. Because
Yeah, you know what?
Go
yeah,
ahead,
because
Willie.
Ricky and I talk about that you guys know each other. And then what we figured out with speaking of the chat and asking questions and responding is that what we've learned is that recently they upgraded something on this this studio server where the connection is actually pretty fast now. The lag is 2.5-3 seconds. But
Yep.
what we figured out just from trial and error, and actually came about from testing the trivia, was that when I opened up a bunch of different browsers with YouTube channels that I have a couple of different accounts that I use, and tuned them all in and did a quick live broadcast and ran the trivia. When I start answering it, I'm looking here in the studio waiting for the chat to come up, and it was 11 seconds from the time that I hit it and hit enter till it popped up in the studio here. So, even though the outbound lag is great for things like this, where you can ask a question and get response, it's still, a bit of time while they hear it right away and they've typed, but it's going to take a few seconds for it to come in. So, if we seem long-winded when we're asking a question, we're trying to buy some time.
Yeah,
to be able to-
tonight we actually practiced the
it
timing.
stinks where we'll switch gears and start asking, all of a sudden we're like, good morning, to Akira here, down in Japan and all that. And then all of a sudden Eric might answer the question and we're like, oh man, we got to, switch back. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. Just keep that in mind. But
yeah, we're trying to really get that down.
yeah,
So it takes a little
Nice
practice. We'll
living
get
near
it.
BHS. It was. Listen, it was convenient. I used to go at lunchtime to Tony DeLuca's house. Ricky would give us a ride.
Yeah.
sometimes,
So I mean,
I
still
For
can't
lunch.
place him. I mean, I almost married an Ann student, so I should know exactly. And I grew up with Peter and his little brother. Are you Peter's younger brother?
Okay, here he's just answering right here. See, there's the lag, and we had a couple of but 82.
Oh, okay, I
He's right behind
totally
you.
remember you now. I never fought with you because you were bigger than me. Anyway, it's a great story. Yes, I remember. Of course, I remember. You're Peter's younger brother, man. We all grew up together. Oh, you did talk to the captain. Right on, guys. Right
Very
on,
good.
captain.
Very good.
Yeah.
He's got a very, very interesting project. So yeah, you
Yeah,
guys.
I might have some architectural participation there. So let's keep
Well,
our
I found
fingers
another
crossed.
map that I meant to send him. Some
What's
I have
up?
some really, really old maps there. So
What's up,
Dodd,
Doc?
good to see you, brother. What's up, brother?
Yeah.
We got to get some class of '86 people on, and Ricky, you got to get some class of '81.
Yeah, no,
Maybe
I
we
got
can do it
you. We got
I know
Mark.
short
I know
notice, but maybe we can do something next week where we can get just a couple of them to talk about, because the reunion's coming up. They may need to put some announcements.
Yeah. But we're older, so Willie, man. So it takes a while to get us going to see who wants to be on the live. But yes,
I hear you.
yeah, right on. Now I remember for sure. No way, you probably beat me up and now saying that I beat you up. You were a big kid. I remember that, man. Blonde. Yes, Eric.
Well,
Right
good to
on.
see you guys, man. So anyhow, let's keep moving right along here and then so we can get our trivia and stuff in there. But we do have of course a couple of
we got a lot
announcements
of
and things
bantering
going on.
tonight.
And thank you, Dodd. Appreciate you, brother. Salute to you, brother.
Thank you so much.
There is what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought there. Oh, a lot going on that Ricky's going to talk about here. We're obviously going to talk about, as usual, we're getting into April now, and which reminds me, I got to get my passport renewed for a World Cup. But we're reunion's around the corner, man. I mean, before you know it, it'll be the reunion. So we've got a couple of things going on with the reunion we're going to talk about and remind you guys about that. And then, like I said, Ricky's got a lot to talk about in Panama because, man, things are just
Lots
as things
going
cool
on.
down, they heat up again anyway, right? And
Yeah, and
obviously
for everybody going to reunion, this is the month you got to quit eating carbs, so you're not, you don't go there all bloated.
Yeah. It doesn't work if you start 3 weeks before. The
If you
reunion.
start doing, I start now. No carbs, no sugar.
Yeah, that's it. You gotta have that look. You gotta have that look for sure, man. So be ready for it. But anyway, let's move along here.
SCN Television presents K Pasa. And now here's this evening's host, Army Sergeant Bob Foster.
Good evening and welcome to K Pasa. We've got two guests tonight. First Sergeant First Class Jim Webb. Sergeant Webb's with the 227th Military Police Detachment.
Yeah, there you go. So that's our K Pasa song. So we got a lot going on. Of course, the reunion is around the corner, right? We're mid-April, so we're May, June, so less than 3 months because although it is later in July this year, it is still at the beginning of the month. I think it's the 8th through the 11th, whatever it is. So, but as usual, we want you first and foremost, you have to be a member of the Pan Canal Society to take advantage of all the reunion things that are going on, especially the activities and stuff, the discounts, rooms and whatnot. So make sure you get your membership in. And then, of course, keep in mind, guys, that the reunion deadline for signing up is the 29th of May. Okay, so you're talking about 5.5, 6 weeks from now, you have to be, registered and sign up in order to confirm a room and all that. If you do it later on than that, obviously they're going to try and work as hard as they can to get you, accommodated, but no guarantee. So keep that in mind. Membership, of course, is $50, $60 a year because it's after January, but still it's a bargain, guys. And you'll make that back in the discounts alone, just in the rooms alone, the savings on the room prices, you'll make that back up, not to mention the food and stuff.
Mhm.
And again, some of the activities you have to be a member, to participate. I know that the Saturday, the pool party, that
you can go, but you can't have the free beer and all that stuff.
free beer, man. So you want to go have a good time and have some free beer, hang out at the pool after, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of saying hello
And believe me, everybody notices if you don't have the paid.
Yeah, come on, you're Zonians.
So yeah,
You
don't
kidding?
be cheap, man. Do your thing. Everybody will notice and call you out on it.
Absolutely.
Well, we got a couple things that we can inform you on tonight on the social scene, on the ports, on all kinds. So we're just gonna go through all and chit chat about it all. First, I want to say a little toast to a celebration of life to a class of '81 who happened to leave us on Sunday. Papo Cruz up there, thank you very much for all you did. You're very respectful towards us since we were little kids. God bless you, my friend. We'll see you when we get up there.
Yep. Rest in peace, Zonian.
And speaking of class of '81, we got a couple of birthdays that of
Okay.
big class of '81 people. Because you guys know I love this. Tracy Cotton, big sports girl,
Yeah, right
and
on.
a very Christian girl who's doing tremendous work in Panama,
Right on.
spreading the word of the gospel and
Happy Friday
the
to
word
you
of
too, Joe.
Jesus. Tracy Cotton,
Right
her
on.
birthday is the 20th. Also, Mark Forbes from Los Rios, from La Boca, I believe. Mark Forbes, happy birthday on the 18th, which is tomorrow. Dickie Horn, which is a great catcher on my baseball
We're
team,
doing
and
a
on our
birthday
high school
segment
team.
again, but okay.
His birthday was earlier in the month. And last but not two more. Raymond Lord, which is a great friend of mine, a very good football player. Today's his birthday. Happy birthday, Raymond. And Billy White. We used to call him Willie Bite, and he would get upset. But Billy, happy birthday. He was on the 8th. Those are the class of '81. And then Mark, I don't know if you're on the class of '81 list for the reunion. If not, send me your email and we'll get you added on. Guys, we have a little update on the class of '81 stuff, and maybe Willie will have some update on the '86 stuff. But at the '81 guys, all the celebrations are going to start on Thursday. All right, so we're going to have the suite available, but starting at 5 p.m. on Thursday. That'll be the first thing to do. Very easy. No stress. There's always going to be food and there's always going to be booze there, guys. Then Friday, we have our dinner. But, guys, check this out. We're having it at the suite. Not at some restaurant, nothing. We're having it at the suite. We're going to have drinks, good food, catered. And then the suite will be open Friday from noon on. All right, so you can just drop in. Like I said, there'll be food and drinks always when the suite's open. Everybody's invited, by the way. And then Saturday, of course, we'll have the pool cabana like every class does every year. That's kind of cool. You have a place to all congregate and leave your stuff there. And then after the pool party, guys, stick around because we're going to do the pictures. You want to be part of the pictures at the stairs. Famous stairs. Everybody does pictures there. And then Saturday night, don't forget, it's prom night. It's the big how do you pronounce
Soiree.
that word? Soiree. It's the big soiree. But for our class, we're all gonna sit together and make it like a prom night. So if there was somebody there you wanted to ask for the prom and didn't have a chance, this is the opportunity.
There you go.
All right. And then, of course, Sunday, there's the despedida, and there's always a raffle. So it's worth going to that despedida because truly, you have to beat her to win. This happened last year, so I'm probably jumping the gun here. I'm not sure that they're doing it, but they do it almost every year. The raffle. So if there's less people, better chances of winning, and it's a great price. And of course, I always leave on Monday, so that'll be breakfast at the buffet area. If you guys haven't eaten at the buffet place, it's the place to eat breakfast. I mean, I don't know, Willie, if you ever go down to the hotels.
I've never stayed there past Sunday. I've always left Sunday morning.
Oh my God, they have a
because I live here in Tampa, so I mean,
that makes
after 4 days, it's like 45 minutes an hour. I'm home.
Yeah, you guys want to go. You guys want to get out of there, right? It's true. But The cafeteria has a great buffet. So, guys, that is the update on Class of 81.
Well, and real quick, Class of 86 then. We've got the 40th class reunions coming up on the 10th of July. As usual, it's on Fridays from 6 to 9 p.m. More details to come on that. There is a Facebook page, Balboa High School, Panama, Class of 1986. Go on there and get some information. Debbie Earhart Sanders, she's in charge of that. So reach out to her if you get a chance, and hope to see you guys there. But yeah, it should be a good time. I imagine they'll be doing something informal on a Thursday night, and then Friday night will be the official one. So
yeah, Earhart, he was the top construction manager in the Canal Zone.
Yes, they lived out there in Gavilan. They had the last house right along the fence line, from the bridge exit there, or the on ramp, but actually past the on ramp. But don't forget, Ricky, that you and I need to figure out what we're going to do about Friday night, because we're going to be busy at reunions. You're at your class reunion, I'm at mine.
I think we're going to have to take a pass that day, guys. You have to give us a pass, because it's going to be tough to do a show that night.
Yeah.
We can do maybe in we'll think about it. Maybe you guys can throw some ideas, on what you would like to see from us.
Heck,
but I'm going to be busy as heck
honestly,
that day,
Ricky,
bro.
maybe even a Sunday night show that weekend.
We'll see.
Recap some stuff. But yeah, we'll got to figure that out. But don't count on us being available to do a live show on
that on the reunion. I guess we get a
night.
break. I mean, we did try it a couple of years ago, and we got away with it. But I doubt we'll get away.
And last year was even worse. I was sitting at a chair, staring at a laptop, around a corner somewhere. It's really not. It's not conducive to this type of a reunion. And if we're doing something, official, a big program, which I would love to do, by the way, hint, a live gig show on a Friday night there at the reunion would be awesome. We could do a big type of, variety show type get up or something. That would be cool. But to just Ricky and I to just on our own do a show in the hotel, it's really not practical.
It's not practical. I mean, we got away with the first time because we lied to the manager.
We did.
Yeah, we got permission from that one lady over there.
Yeah.
The one that had the 2 ears and the nose. That lady.
No, in Panama, that would be no, dijo fulana.
Yeah. And the guy's like, what? What lady? What? No, we're 3 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, she gave us the green light.
Yeah.
Well, guys, let's go on. Willie, you know what happened today? 170 years ago. I'm sure you don't remember, but I do. What's the anniversary, the 170-year anniversary of the Watermelon Wars, which we have talked about quite a few times here. Well, today's that day. You know what? The way I look at that war, Willie, it's the day that Panama and the U.S., their brotherhood was set in stone and in blood because they killed each other. They killed each other, both sides. So our brotherhood, that's when our brotherhood started, 170 years ago, bro. Until today, we still battle like little brother, big brother, and we still love each other.
Watermelon.
And we're still like this, and for a couple of reasons that we're still like that. I don't know if you, Willie, you heard, but the Canal, ACP came out with some new numbers because the trimester is over now.
Right.
And, because of what's going on in Iran, we've had more business in the Canal.
Sure.
Willie, last year, they moved to the Canal just under 10,000, was it million? Shit, I don't remember.
10 million.
10 million. Wow.
TEUs, right?
TEUs. Well, where they are today in April.
What is a TEU, Ricky? Explain that to the
It's one of those containers that you see on ships. Those big,
correct.
They got the different sizes, but there's those containers. Today, 6,200 already gone through.
Yeah, and you think about it, especially now with the new set of locks where you got these massive ships going through. If you ever see those things have, buku containers, right? So, there's a lot of numbers going through there right now. And obviously the waters are a lot calmer on this side of the world than they are over there. So it makes sense,
Yeah.
Totally.
I think I might have written that down wrong because 6,200 doesn't seem like a big number. So I might have gotten that wrong. That on those figures might be 6,200,000. But the whole thing is that the Canal transits are at a highest level right now. where is this? Sorry, guys, man, I have like 6 of these papers ready to talk about. Let's move on to festivals. I'll come back to the ports once I get to that page. Like we mentioned last week, there was a great festival called the Moon Fest in Panama Viejo,
Right.
where they had, a lot of food and music and such. Countries representing that festival like India, Morocco, Turkey, Indonesia, China, and Mexico. Well, this week they have 2 big festivals. Once again, they got the Moon Festival, but this time on the Atlantic side in Centro de Arte y Cultura.
Right on.
And then on the Pacific side, from our good friend Paul Gibbs lets us know, they have the Revolution Fest this weekend in Clayton.
Yes,
Now, it's like a summer closing event because all the kids are going back to school. If you realize, if you know Panama's summers right now, plus the football season just started as well. And it's in la Ciudad del Saber. They're having this, again, it's a music festival with a ton of food, ecotourism, art, folklore, you name it. It's all going to be there in Clayton. Nice. Revolution Fest. And then 3 weeks ago, they had the one fest, which now I don't remember the name, and that's when Shorty and Slim participated in that one.
Right.
So right now, Panama's just, they're trying to bring that music scene to Panama, make Panama the center of all these festivals.
Sure.
Being the hub that it is, it makes all the sense in the world. So that's in Ciudad del Saber, Revolution Fest. Now, guys, I subscribe to ciudaddelsaber.org. It's an amazing place. Clayton has so many events going on, from music concert to science fairs to art festivals. There is a number, aka a plethora of events in Clayton on a weekly basis, which I hope everybody down there knows that. But if you don't, go on the website, ciudaddelsaber.org. Everything there is listed. I would subscribe. It's free. And get an update on what's happening down there.
Oh, yeah, real quick. Something that while you were talking about that whole TEU stuff and everything, I was like, well, let me look it up just to make sure, what the numbers were. Didn't find it, but here's something real interesting to kind of support what you're mentioning there. And talking about this canal traffic that it's mounting up, right? There's a lot more ships wanting to go. The demand is there. And so there are what's called priority fees, where you can pay more to jump the queue, kind of like an express pass at Disney. And here they set a record here. A shipping company paid $4 million to get to the front of the line to get their freight through. Where the Panama Canal is right now. That somebody this is not including your shipping fees now. This is the priority fee to get you to the front of the line, in front of the queue, is what they're paying now to get ships through there. That's the value of the Panama Canal and the importance of it to world commerce and what something halfway around the world going on is impacting, the operations here in Panama. So I just thought that was kind of cool, man, to throw that out there.
Yeah. You know what? And it kind of ties to the ports, we're all over the place. The ports, we've been informing you guys every week on the ports, right? Let's might as well just jump in there. Let me see if I can find those notes. But I kind of know everything going on with the ports. I don't really need my notes. But China is suing Panama $2 billion for them losing their contract. And we can discuss that for all day long. We've already done that. And then Panama retaliated by getting a bunch of countries to say, hey, this is not fair. You're actually ruining world commerce, and you're not really, doing any damage to Panama.
Right.
Which, by the way, Panama trades almost $1 billion a year with the United States, and only $40 million with China. So I guess the Chinese got the message, that they're not really affecting Panama. They're affecting themselves, by the way, because it's their stuff that they're shipping more than anything.
Right.
So China now has decided, Willie, to go after the 2 big port operators that took over operations. Right. Once they got the Chinese out. So now the Chinese are going after them, saying, hey, you guys got to get out. You guys got to get out of Panama.
Man, these guys are bitter.
They're really upset, man. They're real upset. So that's what's going on there with the ports.
Panama was front and center in China's whole Belt and Road Initiative, whatever that garbage was. The Panama Canal was front and center to that. And
and
They
they lost
suddenly
that.
are scrambling big time. Yeah, man.
Well, no, they've
kidding.
lost a lot. You know,
Heck yeah, they have.
the way they do business. You know, it's
Yes,
just not coming
yes,
through.
absolutely.
So, oh my goodness, all these. Oh, the ports. So the ports, activity in the ports on the Cologne, because I had like 6, 7 of these papers, man. I should, when we do the longboat change, I always get
Right.
like this. The port productivity on the Atlantic side is way up. You know, way up.
Certainly.
And most of it has to do with, you know, because they got the trains, the free zone, and France Field there. You know, so they've got the trifecta for that to be the hub of the world of Central America.
France Field now is a airfield that's being used by cargo,
Yeah,
you know,
DHL
operations and
everybody, yeah.
stuff. So it's not the France Field you remember back in the day, which was just a little strip.
Yeah. Listen, Cologne Cristobal Port even won an award for efficiency, right?
Mhm.
Productivity award.
It's such a shame that they have that whole Atlantic side. When you look at the ports and the shipping in the freight area, is just running so well, and then you cross the street into Cologne, and it's just so decrepit, man. It's just so
I know.
sad.
They're trying to fix that.
They are, man. But God Almighty, it's incredible how that happens.
One of the reasons it grew, Willie, is because it was tax free. That's why
Certainly.
Cologne, the city of Cologne gets like no help.
Right, they get no revenue. There's no
So
revenue
the
coming
new
in.
mayor, who is a Canal pilot, he's saying, you know what? No, you guys got to give us a penny or whatever you want. You got to give us something because we're never going to grow. We don't have a way of taxing our
revenue
citizens.
streams. Yeah.
No revenue. So in a way, I I'm not a big tax guy, but I kind of agree with
it makes
throwing
sense.
Cologne a bone, man.
Because if you look at the Isthmus of Panama, the reason we built the canal there is because it's a very short distance, right? And in some cities here in the States, 50 miles is a suburb. Right. And so to have a city so modern like Panama City, so big and so vibrant, and then 50 miles away, have something that is just completely neglected. It's incredible that.
But it's coming back, though. Let's not
It
be
is.
so
It
harsh.
is. No doubt about it. No, I'm not being
little by
harsh.
little.
I'm just pointing out the reality that one is.
I have
saying it in a
and-
way of saying, God, do something because the people of Cologne have got to be looking and going, saying, how the heck is these people right across the street over there so wealthy and us flat broke?
Well, it's because of that, because of the
they got to change the rules, man. At this point, Ricky, in all honesty, I don't think you need that much incentive for people to do business over there with the ports.
Oh no, not anymore. Now they're over. They got. I mean, they're overbuilt. Yeah,
even a short amount of tax would just put piles of money into Cologne.
Yep. I mean, I think the freebies are all. They gotta help a little bit. I mean, I don't want to sound.
There's no need for that incentive
like
anymore.
The mayor
this
of
is
New
a
York or
vital
something
port
here.
area to the world already. They don't need to incentivize people to go there.
Yeah. Here's my notes. Thank God. Well, guys, if you want to buy bonds from the Canal Zone, ACP just put out $450 million in bonds, Canal bonds, through Latinx. So if you want to buy Canal bonds, and they're going to pay their bill, so I would have. No, we can't give that kind of info here because we're not specialists in finance. But
we're not giving you financial advice here.
Yeah, because we can actually get in trouble for that. So
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, if you want to own part of the Canal Zone, boom, your bonds are out there.
Yeah,
Willie, something else going on. You know how we have the ocean to ocean Cayuca race, world famous, right? Now we got the ocean to ocean motorcycle race becoming
which
world
is also
famous.
world famous. Yeah,
which is becoming Jerry Curtis. But Panama also now has, which is happening this weekend, ocean to ocean bike race, which again is becoming one of the top races in Central and South America. 5,000 cyclists going to be racing 125 kilometers, which equals roughly 77.67 miles, going from the Atlantic to the Pacific. That's happening tomorrow. So remember, the highway is going to be closed. So if you're planning to travel to the Atlantic side tomorrow, remember about the race. So that's going to be happening tomorrow. And back, speaking of sports, God, Willie, so much going on with sports as well. The First Lady was they'd sent her to New York to re-sign up with Major League Baseball's Pitch, Hit, and Run. It's this program that they have in several Latin American countries. Panama, for some reason, lost it, and now they got it back, where it's a free program, by the way, Willie, for 7 to 14-year-olds, to learn baseball skills, discipline, and teamwork. But not only that, Willie, they teach these kids social development through sports. What Major League Baseball is, they're trying to formalize a pipeline because Panama now is putting out a lot of good ball players. So it's not a New York Yankee academy, but because of the Panamanian influence with the New York Yankees are really behind this push of getting Panama all the money and all the support they can from Major League Baseball. So that's a big win-win for Panamanian kids to have this new Major League Baseball program where something like 4,000 kids get free training by these pros. God, you imagine we had that in our time? Jesus Christ. That'd be something else. Yeah. Speaking of sports, Panama right now, Willie, is having a Juegos Sudamericanos de la Juventud, which is like, the Central American games or the Caribbean games.
Right.
They always give it different names, but it's happening right now in Panama. And it's Central and South America, from Mexico down. I don't think the U.S. and Canada are participating on this one, and they're all having in Panama, and Panama's doing quite well in the medal count. We got 10 medals, 2 gold, 7 bronze, and 7 bronze and 1 silver. And in surfing, the girl category, this girl blonde looked like a little Zonian, Shakira Martinez, got the bronze in surfing. Yeah. And then the football team, Willie, the flag football team, because flag football. These games are to get you into the Olympics, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Well, Panama, with only 4 million inhabitants, are the favorite for the gold medal. They just whooped on Brazil, something like 54-33.
Well, and now, in all fairness, Panama got a head start in international football.
We know why. We know
Thanks
Panama's
to us
DNA.
right here. Thanks to that place in the background there you see behind me, over my left shoulder there, that building there behind that was Balboa Stadium. That's where Panama learned how to play football.
And on the other side of your shoulders, where we all learned how to play football before we went to the other side of your shoulder,
brother. But that
we learned how to play football in El Prado.
And you think about it, football in the zone started in the 50s because we've read in the yearbooks and stuff, the Bulldogs had football in the 50s going on. So you're talking 75 years of football in Panama. And now when the world says, hey, we're all going to play football in the Olympics, Panama's like, dude, I got a big head
hold my
start,
beer.
man.
We're whooping on everybody. I mean, when they played in the Central Americans, one team, Nicaragua, didn't even show up. They're like, forget it. We're not playing these guys. I mean, they were winning 83-0, 72-0, because they were playing El Salvador,
it's
Nicaragua.
Fantastic, man. I mean, it really is a great legacy. And honestly, as Zonians, be proud of that.
Let's toast to that, because
we
know where that DNA came from.
We played a major role in giving that to Panama. That's one of those gifts.
Zonian power.
Canal, but some football was great.
They're gonna probably get the gold medal there.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it. These people formed an entire football league around one of their teams that was the only team to play against the zone. That was Kiwanis. They ended up forming a football league because of it. So, I mean, that legacy really went directly to them from the Canal Zone.
That is correct. And the football league just started. This is week 2. Last week was the Jamboree. This is actually the first week of the season.
That's cool,
something else, Willie, on the U17, the varsity guys in Panama. And by the way, the team that is playing in the Juegos Sudamericano is the U17, so it's like varsity. It's the varsity kids that are playing there.
Right, yeah. Yeah, they have so much football that you have to spread it out throughout the year. Because they have seasons for the younger kids and then the older kids, because it really is everything that the zone had and more. Because I mean, they've got Pee-wee very, very young age, way before we did.
Panama starts at 6 now,
right? Before lightweight and going all the way to what
we started at. You can play at 9, but you got to be a tough kid. You got to be more the gordito to play at 9. Otherwise, 10, 11, you got in. But Panama's U17 is doing very well in flag football. But you know what else, Willie? In soccer. They are the champions of CONCACAF and going to be going to the Soccer World Cup of U17 in Qatar.
See,
in
that's
20.
two
And I
now.
think it's
Two
November.
teams this year going to World Cups already, and that U17 is very
U17.
prestigious because this is the window. If you want to follow Panama soccer, right? Not for this World Cup, obviously, because you're talking about a November appearance, but next World Cup in 2030. This is one of those teams to watch based on what they do here now, because these guys are now
these
hitting
kids are
that
going to
age.
be that team.
Absolutely.
Right. So wow.
I get a good head start watching what you see. I see the
Wow.
Panama talent developing.
I love it. Now, to wrap up the sports section, you guys all remember the Hipódromo, right? We always had horse racing in Panama forever. I truly never went, but I know that other people did go. Well, the British Embassy last week threw a big event there, and it's become, the British Embassy and the Chamber of Commerce, which is called A Day at the Races. So it's becoming a big event in Panama now, where the elite, how like the Kentucky Derby and stuff like that. And, well, Panama now has their own version of that, and it's called A Day at the Races. I believe it was last weekend. Could be this weekend. But anyways, put together by the British Embassy and the Chamber of Commerce out there at the Hipódromo Juan de Mósteres Aron Semena.
Didn't the British Embassy or the residence of the ambassador, wasn't it off of that hill, off of the Transísmica? Wasn't that where they had?
I know the U.S. Embassy was up in the hill.
Maybe that's
La
what it was.
Cresta.
In La Cresta, but maybe they were nearby each other, which will also make sense because that was an area that was heavy with embassy presence and stuff. But
yeah,
I remember going there as a kid for some reason, going to the embassy or to the consulate for the British one, and that was one of my first ever, I think, exposures to Manchester United, and I think that's where I started following them, which was way.
What the heck were you doing there? You're not British.
My dad. I thought something my dad was doing, I think. Or
I got you. Oh, look, here's my Panama news. God darn it, man. Well, anyway, so back to the Panama, the transit, guys. This is important. Panamax. 72% of the ships going through the canal are Panamax, and that's the ones that were built to fit through the old locks. 72%. So that's still a big number. But Neo Panamax are the ships for the new locks. That's up 28% in volume. Now, I looked at the numbers. I go, hey, so I use Gemini now for AI.
Nice.
I go, what were the transit in 1977? How many transits were they doing?
Right.
And apparently, in 1977, they did more than they are doing now. But Willie, there's a reason for that.
Okay.
Back in 1977, they weren't about volume. They were about small ships going through as fast as they can. So it was more about that than it was today. Volume, because volume is money, right? Before we didn't care about the money, we just care about you going through.
Well, in China in 77 was not the factory to the world that it is today. So, you didn't have the same amount of.
Yeah, but we had other factories back then. But
but not nearly like
I was surprised. It was like almost 1,000
there was no, remember,
more ships.
back in the 70s, there was no Walmarts. There was none of all that other stuff. It was a different era.
They'd have Sears and J.C. Penney's.
Listen to this guy.
Oh, because there was nothing like those catalogs.
No. Yeah, I mean, yeah. That was. Let me tell you what, man. That Sears catalog. You got that thing. Usually October, maybe early November. Get ready for the holidays.
In the summer, I remember it was like right before football. You got that. Because I remember before I started playing for the Rams, I bought a jersey. And then I remember all the kids would make fun of me because it wasn't like a Balboa Rams jersey. It was like a regular. And you couldn't just wear a jersey if it wasn't a football jersey from one of the teams.
I think youth sports was probably for kids. That was your first exposure to the real world, right? Where prior to that, you could do those things. You could buy a jersey in the Sears catalog, and amongst your friends, it would be cool. But when you hit the sports, the organized sports with coaches and teams and competition, dude, you better have the real thing or forget it.
Yeah. You couldn't be faking. All right. All right. To wrap up this up, and like I always say, sadly, to wrap up my segment here, from Pablo Prieto informing us, Ambassador Cabrera, one of our more preferred diplomat, visited the Elks Club. As you guys know, the Elks Club is a big Zonian social club that a lot of the expat Zonians that are in Panama go to. Well, the ambassador went by to say hi to all the Americans there. So appreciate that, Ambassador Cabrera. Keep up the good work. In Panama, they really love you, man. So cheers to you, Ambassador.
Salute. Absolutely. No. So it's and this guy, he recently got married and
to a
married into the Panama
political families.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it, So it's kind of funny because it's almost like way back in the day, where the kings and queens and prince and princesses would marry off to another family, and next they would form an alliance, and lately it's just coincidental, I'm sure, but the U.S. and Panama have become closer, as far as allies go, and lo and behold, these guys go and tie the knot. So
yeah, well, I'm kind of looking forward to our next segment, which is our trivia. But I got a little trivia for you, Willie. Let's see if you can answer this one before we jump into the serious trivia that you've put together. Wait, good job.
Yeah.
Anybody out there? Teredo, Teredo. Teredo. Does anybody know what that is? Is it A, an Army ballistic missile? B, a Navy ballistic missile, or C, a worm?
Okay, so Teredo, give me that spelling again.
Oh no, because you're gonna AI it. Teredo. Teredo. Are you guys ready? Wait, let's do the drum roll.
Yeah.
This is a tough one for anybody out there.
Okay.
Teredo, anybody? Teredo, anybody? It's a naval marine shipworm. A destructive pest that attacks submerged timber. And apparently that's Panama's Navy. That's our submarine
not sure how, but okay.
Well, because they eat all the wood for the ports and the ships and whatever, man. So they eat all the wood that's down there. Teredo. So if you ever heard of a torpedo called Teredo, we know where that comes from.
There you go.
Shipworm.
Okay. Very
I saw that in the dictionary. I thought, that's going to be a good one. Because you know what, Willie? The dictionary, with this, our viewers are quite, a high IQ on Canal's on terms.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I like tamale. Come on. We can't put that in there. Or tamborito. We can't put that in there. Or, teatro. Teen club, teak. Oh, come on. But the one Teredo was like, okay, I don't think they'll know.
Yeah, no. That's a good point. It absolutely, it is a different setup altogether. No doubt.
Wait. Before we go, because you know me, I'm always bochinchero. But listen, does anybody know exactly what tabernia was? Tabernia.
Well, we know right above your head. If you kept going straight that way as a crow flies, you would hit that street up there. But was it the same one, tabernia, or was that tavernier with a V?
It's both. They use them both, B and with the
they're
V.
Interchangeable, I guess.
They're interchangeable.
Okay.
Well, guys, it was a town site near the north end of San Pablo Reach, which is like north of Gamboa, during the canal construction period. It was actually for the Panama Railroad, this town. But it eventually got, became part of Gatun Lake. But that's what Tabernia is. I always knew of Tabernia Hill, but I never knew why. Why is it called Tabernia?
Yeah.
What is the deal? Hey, Chris.
How you doing, Chris? Safe travels there, brother. That was one of the cool things of the zone was that the streets were named after a lot of different town sites, and then especially the older town sites, because we lost quite a few going, with the canal building and flooding and stuff. So, it's kind of almost, I guess, a way of honoring them, right? Is give them a street name in Balboa, a very prominent name. So that's kind of cool, man. But
it is. Well,
say
cool. We know where Tabernia
is.
Say hi and let's get on with
absolutely. Ricky's itching to get some trivia, so he had to sprinkle some in there. But pay a couple of bills real quick here, and then we will jump into our trivia. And again, we've got it all figured out. Remember, guys, just hit that 1, 2, 3, or 4 if you want to answer. Anything else is going to read it as a wrong answer and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But
you won't get that.
But anyhow,
sauce.
that'll be cool. But let's get it is because it is a 4-pack of the Howler Monkey hot sauce. So let's get some bills here and paid and move right along.
Howler Monkey Sauce sent me to the jungles of Panama in search of their new spokesperson, and let's see if we find them.
Hey, listen, you don't need to keep looking for a spokesperson. You found me. I love this Howler Monkey hot sauce.
Wow. Okay, and what's your name?
They call me Gamboa up here in these trees.
Roll camera and action.
This one, the Amarillo. It's going to be amazing on chicken, trust me.
Do you know a howler monkey who can describe the sweet heat of our original with authentic ají chombo peppers, or the fresh punch of verde where habanero warmth meets crisp bell pepper? How about the bold tang of Amarillo, yellow Scotch bonnets blended with mustard seeds?
I'm froze, bro.
And of course, our hot, the same great flavor as original, with red habaneros for that fire. Our sauces are all natural, no preservatives, gluten-free, pure flavor and pure fire. Are you the next Howler Monkey spokesperson?
Ladies and gentlemen of the Balboa Yacht Club, this is Canal Zone Dictionary. The rules are simple. Define it or be defined. In the blue corner,
he's tougher than a Chiva bus ride in the rainy season. Sharper than Sosa Hill sawgrass. As a kid, he almost ran the length of El Prado. Ricky, the Capira Kid. Royo!
And in the red corner, faster than a PCC rotary phone, cooler than a Panama beer with no ice. Set a record for 11 straight weeks of being sent to the principal's office at St. Mary's.
Willie, the goat of the goalpost. Benninghoff.
2 Zonians, 1 dictionary, no guessing. Well, I mean, you might want to guess. Anyway, only definitions and glory. Are you ready to hear Ricky and Willie say some amazing, magniloquent responses? And in some cases, just plain horse manure. Let's get ready for Canal Zone Dictionary.
All right. Well, I was going to say here we are, but here I am because Ricky is having some technical issues. You know, remember he does live in the capital of the tech hub of the world, the San Francisco Bay Area. So, but nonetheless, we're going to get him. Actually, looks like he's connecting here now. I think he's got some bandwidth issues there, but we'll get it figured out here nonetheless and kick this off because there he is. Okay, he's there a little bit on the pixelated side of things, but we'll get it fixed. So anyhow, so the trivia again, guys, like I said, what we're going to do here, guys, is when the questions come up, they're multiple choice. They're 1, 2, 3, and 4 is the answer, possibilities. Again, just make sure that you just put the number. You don't have to put the pound sign or the numeral sign, just the actual digit itself. So if it's 1, just press the 1 key and do it that way. There he is. Welcome back, Ricky. We'll get your pixelation fixed there a little bit, but
unbelievable. I live in the tech city of the world.
It is, man. It's so bizarre.
We can't, handle this little bit of traffic.
But we were able to get
almost
back
every week now, Willie, at the same exact time.
It's very interesting that happens that way. For what it's worth, and this is something that I've done at my house, is I actually ran a cable through the attic and in here, so I actually have hardwired in my computer instead of using Wi-Fi.
Me too. I'm hardwired.
But
yeah, guys, sorry about that. It just locks up, and I can't even. I have to do the old fashioned, turning it off and turning it back on by pressing that.
Right.
Because it just freezes. So sorry. We were doing
so
well until that.
Yeah, we were good. We were good. And it was a little indication popped up earlier, some FPS.
I know.
It is what it is. Fortunately, we were able to buy some time with which by the way, we got to update that,
guys. Sorry.
That intro there because it,
we had a good audience tonight, Willie. You got a lot of people out tonight.
Yeah, it should be fun, So let's kick it off, guys, because again, there's a 4-pack of Howler Monkey sauce, on the line here. So, here we go with question number 1. What major dredging milestone is estimated to involve 40 million cubic yards of material between Gatun and Bas Obispo? Okay, 40 million cubic yards of material between Gatun and Bas Obispo. Think about that. Ricky kind of mentioned that earlier. Is it 1, excavating the Gatun Lake Channel? Is it 2, dredging the area for the Gatun Yacht Club? Is it 3, excavating Culebra Cut? Or is it 4, building the Gatun Dam?
Well, We're going to start with 40 million cubic yards. It's a humongous number.
Right.
So, being it that big, I don't know. I would have to go. I would say, what's the biggest thing there? I'm going with the cut.
What do you think in the cut, huh? Well, let's see here, guys. Get your answer in just the digit, nothing else. But let's see what it is here. It is excavating the Gatun Lake channel.
Just the channel? That much?
Right.
Wow.
And it's interesting that you're talking about. Yeah, absolutely. So something to keep in mind when it came to excavating that channel, right? And that amount, that 40 million. So what they had to do then is start excavating. And what they were doing here is first and foremost, they got to build up that dam. Because remember, the whole concept of the Panama Canal is really a water bridge, right? Which is what the Gatun Lake is, right? And then one entrance is Gatun. You go up 3 levels, right? 85 feet. And now you sail all the way across over that water bridge, which is the Gatun Lake, the Culebra Cut. And then you start descending on the other side back to the sea levels there. So really interesting how that happened. And so I was just curious when that went on, what these dredges, right? Because you're building the dam there, but they were using them on the Gatun side of it, on the lake side of it, right? And I started thinking, well, this is really interesting because they're digging those things up there. As you can see, here's an old map, and what you can see is where that choke point is in the gray. And again, it is a very old map there. That's where the Gatun Dam is being built. That's where the Gatun locks are actually going. Point it.
That's tough to find out.
I think I do have a pointer on here. You're right, Ricky. Let me see if I have something like that.
Because that looks like it's like the Caribbean Sea, and then like a peninsula, and then like another body of water behind it.
Let me see if there's a pointer on here. That's a great thing. I wonder if there's not one. I'm going to make one because we do need for some things like this is a pointer there. I don't see one that they offer on here, but
what a beautiful map, though.
It really is. And you know what? Let me do this. Let me scroll in. And then I'll scroll back out afterwards to show you what I'm talking about here, because this actually is a very high definition map, so I can stretch it out quite a bit and not lose resolution here. So
this is where that 40 million cubic yards of dirt came out of?
Well, it was in this channel here you see on the right side, okay? That gray area there, that's Gatun Lake, okay? Or what is going to become Gatun Lake. If you go through the
now
entrance,
I see it. It goes to the right. It goes that way.
Correct. So the Atlantic side, the Caribbean is on the left-hand side. There's your channel going through. You see those little dashed white lines you can see kind of going diagonal there. That's the actual where the locks path was going to be. Okay. Wow. Because what you see around there then is where the Gatun Dam was being built. Okay. And so remember, you had to fill up this dam first. You had to build this dam, and you had to start blocking off the Chagres River.
Yep.
So that it could start filling up little by little, right? Now, as we know, most of the Gatun, of Lake Gatun, is only 12, 15, 20, 25 feet deep, right?
No, I thought it was, some areas were like 80 feet deep.
Well, no, what happens, there may be some areas where, for example, there would have been a valley before this area was constructed. So you would have some of those areas, correct. But the majority of it is shallow. Right. And so therefore they had to dredge, an area for the ships to navigate. Gotcha. And that's what this 40.
The channel, of course, the channel where the ships go through.
Exactly. So when you see them nowadays, right, where the Gatun Lake is all filled up and you see this humongous expansive lake, but these ships are running a very precise path. They got the buoys lined up. That's where the channel is dug, because everything outside of those buoys is much more shallow. And so this is what they had to do. But here's what's interesting, and what it showed in that previous slide was that, they were building this Gatun Dam first, and they had 6 of these dredges working on the Gatun Lake side. And then once the water, after about a year and a half or so, water level had gotten high enough, then they sent 2 of those over to start dredging the channel as the lake continued to rise and get higher. Because remember, this is a long process to fill that lake. Yeah. Which is why it's so devastating if the canal's ever attacked. All you got to do is break open one of those areas and drain the lake. Right? The repairs of the canal itself is not what worries people. It's the amount of time it takes to refill that lake.
feel that lake. Yeah.
You know,
Makes
so
sense, yeah.
so it was really interesting how they did this and the process there. And then just one other thing that I kind of found really fascinating about that, when we go back to, back to this lake here, right? And as I started thinking, okay, so the Gatun locks are not done yet, right? But you have all these dredges. These are water dredges, mind you. They were on that lakeside. So how did they get there? Right? Did they bring them? Because a lot of stuff, we learned a lot of the stuff, like what Ralph just chimed in there with the Bucyrus steam shovels and stuff. They would ship these things in parts and assemble them in Panama. So I'm thinking maybe they send the dredges there to assemble them there, but it was just not practical. No, it turns out that if you look on that map there, along what would be considered, as the way this map looks, south side, or the bottom half of it, there's that long channel, that long straight channel looking thing there. That's the original French canal that was dug out in the 1880s. That was used by the U.S. and the canal company to move things in and out so that they could work on the other side of the Gatun Dam and the other side of the Gatun locks and stuff. So they were able to access it through that area, because remember, the Chagres River was still a big river that was flowing through that area. They just had to reconnect it. So I just thought that was kind of cool to,
I like it. Yeah. Good job.
To go back to that. So, but anyway, so going back then again, 40 million cubic yards of material between Gatun and Sabiso it was to excavate that Gatun Lake channel. So, but anyway, next question then.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you guys, what we're doing here, and I'm sorry, I should have said this before. Tonight's trivia is from the Canal report of 1909.
That is correct. 1909.
So some numbers may be different from later eras and whatnot, but that was because this is 1909. The canal hadn't been finished yet. It hadn't opened yet, but there was a canal on a lot of stuff going on.
That's about halfway done.
Yes, correct. That's about right. Absolutely. So in 1909, July, which district of the canal zone reported having the highest number issued of liquor licenses? Wouldn't that be a great question?
I would say Amador. Easy. Right? Chicken coop, middle bar, lower bar, upper bar.
But now, if you pay attention to our monthly Dave Dahlstrom Canal Zone historian shows, you would know that in 1909 there was no such thing as Amador.
Oh, you're right.
Right?
Fort Grant.
Fort
Grant.
Well, even that wasn't around yet,
Ancon, Empire, Cristobal.
Yeah. So let's see which one you think, guys, was where the highest reported of liquor license.
Gorgona almost sounds like, I don't know, like the weirdos lived there. Ancon, sounds like there was a lot of bars there.
Could be.
Empire,
the hospital.
Cristobal. I go with. I'm gonna go with Cristobal.
Okay. Well, let's see what it is. So Ricky's thinking Cristobal. What is the answer?
What do you guys think out there?
It is Empire.
Empire, huh?
I
guess I come home from work. You got to go drink a beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is Empire where they had the most houses?
It was one of the central locations. It was right in the middle there, and in fact, if I'm not mistaken, that was also where the first admin was. Goethals or the chief engineers set their houses in that area because that was central to the canal. You were easy access
Governor's
to either side.
house
I guess.
came from
Yeah,
there.
absolutely. So it was Empire, and I was trying to get the infographic ready, but it wouldn't pop up in time. I apologize, but so. Some of you may have looked on the map there and saw Gorgona and thought, maybe it's Gorgona because it's kind of blurred out there. But that just shows the only map that I found of a map of actual liquor license, and what they were issued. But that was second place. Gorgona had 18. Empire was number one with 30. Okay. So
30 bars. Wow.
Yep. And I apologize.
Empire, how big could it have been?
Yeah, right.
It can't be bigger than Balboa. Imagine having 30 bars in Balboa.
So let's see. Right now, we are so far, we've got Vern has answered one question correctly, and Chris Jeffries has answered one question correctly.
All right. Remember, don't use the pound sign, even though I'm watching. Nobody has. And remember, everybody's 1909.
Yes, 1909 trivia here. So, all right. So here's the next one then. According to the division engineer, the new channel at the Pacific entrance has been dredged to its full width, but not yet to what? This is again, like Ricky said, in 1909. This is what the division engineer has said about the Pacific entrance. They have said, one, the required curvature is not ready yet. The vertical clearance, in other words, above, think bridges and stuff. Okay, has it cleared all those? So they may have to make changes, move things, maybe raise things, etc.
1909. So we didn't have a bridge back then. So
right,
okay.
not over the Pacific side. Remember that. But was it the full length has not been reached yet of that channel, or was it the full depth? Right, because again, Panama had very shallow waters, which made it ideal. But remember, we learned about the Causeway Islands had to be where our big shipping started from on the Pacific side.
Right. That's where
everything was
so
so shallow there.
Docked out.
Yeah, so we had to do a lot of dredging and stuff. So that could be it. It could be depth or something. But
Pacific entrance, that would be La Boca. Now we all know that the most curvature-looking girls in the Canal Zone came out of La Boca.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, I can name a few: Kelly Morris, Veronica.
Oh, look
Buffett.
at you! Here we go. We're name dropping here now. There you go. Oh yeah.
Of course, class of '81 girls. Yeah. No, I'm gonna go with the required curvature because the other ones look too obvious.
Okay. All right. Well,
what do you think, Willie?
I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting to see which one it is here. Let's see. It is the full depth.
So they weren't there yet, huh? Okay.
Not yet, So I guess they had it marked out. They had the stuff dug out, but there were probably some areas that you had to fill in.
The Atlantic side, when it comes to shipping, Willie, seems to be where everything is happening. And the Pacific side seems to be like the afterthought.
Yeah, it was lagging.
Like even today with the ports, 100%. The Pacific side's way behind the Atlantic side.
Absolutely right. And now here's something to think about. And I don't know off the top of my head whether the causeway had been filled in yet.
1909,
right?
Well, the trains. Remember, that was supposed to be filled in for the train.
Was supposed to, but they never did it. That's why they paid
maybe
those fines.
That was. And then your point of the currents bringing all that silt.
That's my point. So therefore, maybe they had dug it out, but it keeps getting filled in with the currents and the tides. And so until that causeway is done, everything else is done, sir. But we can't have this empty until y'all finish your damn causeway.
Got you. I agree. I think that
makes sense.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So full depth makes all the sense then.
All right. So let's see here if we got any. Wow, look at this. All right, here we go now. So Vern is still in first. He's got 2. So guys, remember, it is fastest answer, right? And that's the tiebreaker difference. But
fastest, right on.
So when you got Chris Jeffries has also got 2. Nodier's got a 1, but he's got a fastest answer on that one. So we'll see here. Let's go on to the next question then. How does the rock breaker Vulcan break up rock in the Canal Channel?
M80s. No, just
I know, right? Let's see here.
Those toilets at Balboa High School.
Yeah, man. Listen, those M80s were nasty, man. I remember that. And is that the same as a tuna bomb?
I think so. I think they're the same, man. But I remember my class that a couple guys, I'm not going to say names, threw a couple of those down the toilet and boom.
Only the curved girls he talks about, the curvy girls, but he won't name names for the tuna bombs.
Those are my friends, man. I ain't throwing them under the bus.
Loyalty's great there. All right, so let's figure this out on the Vulcan. The breakup rock in the Canal Channel, was it because of high pressure water jets? Did they use that? Which, believe it or not, they did use that back then. That was something back then.
Mm-hmm.
Was it dynamite charges or tuna bombs, as Ricky said? Was it dropping a 15-ton steel ram?
That's
or
a good answer.
was it rotating high-speed diamond tip drill?
Both. Those last 2 are good.
It's gonna be interesting because there's a lot of good answers there. But what do y'all think it is? There, we're gonna go ahead and reveal the answer here. So get your answers in.
From the dredging, remember the dredging guy that came on, and he spoke about this a little bit. So I think I know the answer. I'm not gonna say it.
Now this is where Ricky. Listen, Ricky right here is being like. Well, I'll go ahead and reveal this first, and then I'm going to... All right, which one we think it is? It is dropping a 15-ton
I wasn't going to say, because that's what the guy told us that came on our show.
Yeah. So
that you interviewed,
It was, and that's the way they broke this stuff up. They did use dynamite charges in a lot of places, but I think
that just starts to crack it, and then this will come in and chip it off.
Could be, because that's what the dynamite was to really, break that stuff up. And I guess maybe in the water, it's probably harder to control it that way. Who knows? But the other one was that high pressure water jet. I thought, well, that's kind of more of a more modern technology. But turns out they actually were doing that back then. They were able to have devices that would build up water pressure and use that as well. I think the one that they probably didn't use back then was that diamond tip drills. That seems to be that's in the news now with the big boring machine that's making that tunnel under the locks right now, or the Pacific.
Well, I would say that's a good one, Willie, because if you paid attention to our shows, you would have gotten that answer.
Yeah, indeed.
I know.
So, all right, let's move on to the next question because there's not a lot of questions, but we have a lot.
Well,
to
listen,
talk
we got to
about
go through comments. 19. Oh, that's everybody choosing. Oh, no, let's go through some of these.
Yeah, we can check on some of them.
My brain is exploding.
Yeah,
Soccer match. Oh, okay, all right. Well, Japan must be playing then. They're one of the favorites for the World Cup, by the way. They're up there as the surprise team.
Yeah, no, indeed they do.
All
They've
right,
got a surprise team
3,
for sure.
4. Leafy, 1930. Oh, 1913. Thank you very much, Mr. Solene. 1913, the concert was done right before the opening, Willie. So you had a point there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's very, very interesting.
Answers. Thank you to everybody. Saludo, Miss Massey. Always good to see you on our show.
Heck yeah.
Thank you. Oh, we got another one here. Bienvenidos.
There you go.
I mean, there's Joe from Arizona. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Jim, let me know if you can and send it to me on Facebook Messenger if you want. But which Friday you're available next month so we can get you set up there. So remember, guys, next month, the month of May is Panama Canal month for us. All of our shows are going to be talking about the Panama Canal itself. We're not going to talk about the Canal Zone, Ancon, Panama, the beaches, none of that. It's going to be the canal. And Jim Duffus, who's joined us before, is going to give us a great tour of the Gatun locks and what went on there.
We're going to have Bochi News, right? Otherwise, I'm
no,
bored.
but I'm saying, but our guest segment is always going to be about Panama. Yeah, we can't shortchange Ricky. Come on now. Plus, it's in his contract, so unfortunately, we do have to have.
You guys are stuck with Bochi News, man, for the rest of our existence.
Yeah. But yeah, Jim, let me know when in May you'll be available, so we'll get that one set up. We're going to have Lance Wiskowski from the dredging division join us. Captain Andrew Demidis, of course, Panama Canal pilot, joining us. Also, David Cohen has agreed to join us with the tugboats as well, along with Maurice Cohen, who provides what you would call, I guess, ancillary services.
Let me ask the dumb question. These are brothers?
Yes, they are. Yes,
okay,
they are.
Good. I know they're Aska, and they're great Askins.
They are,
but the tugboat pilot and I, we follow each other on social media.
David is class of '86, Cristobal High School, and Maurice is 1 year ahead. He's class of '85.
All right.
And Maurice, you guys, if the name sounds familiar, a couple of weeks ago we mentioned him because remember when the Nimitz was in Panama?
Oh yeah, he got a contract,
and he was wearing that red suit and stuff. But he actually was working the company that he operates or works with or whatever the case is. They do support services for ships transiting the canal or docking, etc. And like they had that big floating pier they set up on the back of the Nimitz, where Captain Andrew's boat docked onto. Well, all that stuff is what Maurice and his company do. So we're going to have those guys on. So it's going to be everything Panama Canal next month. It's going to be really awesome. So looking forward to that. So yeah, Jim, let me know when you get
well, Willie, I've been, like I mentioned before, I've been checking to see, because there's a lot of new content out there about history of the Panama Canal and Panama as well. And where was I going with this?
I don't know. Well, thank you, Michelle. Right on. The only YouTube channel you watch. Great. And please spread the word. Let people know to sign up and subscribe to the channel and definitely get your notification. But we do appreciate it.
Yes. And speaking of paranormal, there is a Zonian out there. UFO paranormal, not the same, but close. There is a Zonian in the UFO world that we need to bring on, Willie, because
we'll give him some love, man. Throw his name.
We'll give him some love. He basically has many podcasts. You will see him. His name is Jimmy Church.
Yep,
you will see him on all the UFO shows on TV.
This guy's big, man. I mean, he's got a big following. He travels.
Yeah, he's huge. He's huge there. Yeah, he's a big MC. And so we're going to throw a lot of love out there so we can bring him on and he can talk about that. Because Willie, I don't know if you noticed on the news, but something like 11 or 12 scientists that have been working on the UFO and have all disappeared, so
they either found a portal
there's a big
or somebody
story
found them.
there. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Who drank the first beer on the causeway? 1913. I would say, you know what? You know who I would go with? Gaylord. He's the kind of cool dude that had it rough all the time.
I was thinking more somebody from the Smith family. They've been around, maybe the Dahlstrom family. I mean, these guys have been around for
Gaylord. I love that guy. I think he probably let the charge. So I would go with Gaylord on that one, Mr. Ransoon.
If the timing was right, it would have been Teddy Roosevelt. I could just totally see him coming down here and having a beer. But yeah, you're right. I think Gaylord was he was. I think of the 3 chief engineers that we had, he was the one that probably really exemplified what the Zonian is. You know,
Hard work, but he got the
Got it
short end of
done.
the deal, man.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he couldn't quit. He was ordered here. It wasn't offered. He was actually ordered to come down here, man. So
yeah.
let's see. I just wanted to say hi. Thanks to have. Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for tuning in, Chris.
Oh,
Absolutely.
hi, Miss Connigan.
Yes,
Thank you.
for sure. We'd have a lot of fun doing this. It's cool. Just shooting Zonian.
Scott
Zonian.
Connigan, class of '81, one of my best friends in the whole world, man.
Oh, right
Done
on.
very well.
Right on.
Done very well, Scott.
David Poland, right? David, I'm not sure what that is too, but good for David Poland. He's cool to see him.
Yeah,
pop
David
up here.
Poland is Crystal.
McConaughey and
He's also
Chris
from the
Irish.
Atlantic side, the Polands. Yeah.
Okay.
I think their father did Canal security. Was one of the top guys there. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so anyway, next question then is, what is the primary purpose of the rock being produced at the Portobello Quarry? And I'm sure in all this time, this banter, people were probably Googling that. But here's the answers. Here's your choices. Is it ballast for the Panama Railroad relocation? Remember, the initial Panama Railroad that we had, when it came to canal building, that thing stunk. Right, that was the first thing we had to do was redo that before we could even start the canal.
Yeah,
We're gonna
the
find
railroad
about
had to be
an
installed.
interesting
A
piece here
heavier
coming up with that.
rail because I think
Heavier,
the Mickey
bigger,
Mouse
a lot
rails,
more
the French
track, and
used.
it had to move a lot of it because some of the areas where the railroad was going through was going to be part of the canal route itself.
So the Portobello Quarry, is that the obvious place in Portobello, or
Yes,
is that
absolutely on the Atlantic side, the Portobello, in that Bay Area that we saw recently in one of our shows? So was it ballast for the railroad? Was it concrete for the Gatun locks? Okay. Was it paving Panama to Corozal Road? Apparently that was a big deal. I didn't realize that there was a Panama to Corozal Road thing going on.
Would that be the Gaylord Highway?
Well, no, because remember that area, Gaylord Highway is going through Balboa. There was no such area. That was all swampy area that had to be filled up. Yeah. Right. So Panama City probably had probably went around, almost to what today might be Las Cumbres, I would imagine, was probably a road out that way somewhere in that area there.
To Madden or something.
Yeah, certainly. Or was it fill for the Gatun Dam? Okay, remember the Gatun Dam was a monster project. That is a massive, massive dam, right?
Yeah, I would have to say somewhere in the Atlantic side. It almost seems so obvious. Because like you said, the trains weren't ready.
Yeah, it could be, So what are we thinking it is, though, guys? You got 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, remember, just put the numeral. Don't put the pound sign as you're giving your answer.
1909, guys. That's a tough one, Willie. This is really a good one.
Bueno, esperando a ver cuál es el. Here we go. Let's see what it is, guys. Here it comes.
Concrete it is for the Gatun locks. Wow,
that is right.
That's the least that I would expect. Wow.
Right. And it's they're mixing it with the concrete here, right? And they had to crush it up. They had a whole crushing area there. It was a whole cool operation. I'm excited to work on that piece because kind of just to see the machinery and the operation that they had. We think of the obvious. When we think of canal construction, we think of excavators, we think of trains, right? We think of dynamite, we think of all that stuff, but there's a lot of concrete being poured there, man, and you're not putting that in trucks. It was a massive,
and
massive
Willie,
operation.
It's not easy to select the right material.
That is correct.
Homogeneous material from the area.
That is exactly right.
With no intent to dissing the second set of locks, they did the same thing. They got the materials locally, but theirs cracked. Their concrete.
Remember that?
Cracked.
That was a big scandal at first.
Yeah, they
Sure
had a big, big crack and water seeping right
Yeah,
through. But
great
of course,
point.
they fixed it with epoxy and whatnot. But just so picking the right, finding the right rock and picking the right rock for something as strong as the locks.
And Portobello had it. And think about it, if you've been to Portobello, it is, even back in the 70s, 80s when we were down there, it was a bit of a drive from Cristobal and Colon in that area, right? It wasn't like right next door. So, they had to travel a bit to find the rock that was useful, that could, like Ricky says, that would work for it. Exactly.
In 1909, so they didn't have the technology they have today.
No kidding, dude. No kidding. And you're talking
somebody
massive
was
amounts of
extremely lucky.
It was an incredible operation, but so this is what's going on here with our results here. So, okay, we got a couple of people in fourth. Still Vern and Chris. Man, they're neck and neck, man. It's that fast answer that's got you the lead right now. Dodd Dupree's got 3. We've got Norier with 2, and some other people are tuning in now, getting some correct answers. So,
right
all right,
on, guys.
let's go to
man.
the next one.
Cool.
All right.
I mean, these are hard, so don't feel bad. I've gotten every single one wrong so far.
They are.
No, I got one right so far. One right. Yeah.
And by the way, hold on. Excuse me, didn't want to clear my throat in the mic, but Eric Anstus reached out to me last week and brought up a good point, and I appreciate the feedback, guys. We do have to put out some kind of a survey and get some feedback from you guys. But he made a great point, and his wife was watching the show, and she loves learning about the zone and learning about the history. So that's awesome. That we have someone else is getting the benefit of that. But he mentioned he goes, it'd be great to have a lot more trivia and stuff, content with women involved. And
good point.
100% a great point. Ricky and I have talked about it in the past, and a couple of years ago at the reunion, I talked to Eileen Bradley, and she had mentioned it as well. And she said, hey, you know what, if you ever want to do something with, women type segments, let me know. I'd love to help out. So Eileen, I'll be knocking on your door.
And she's one of the smartest girls in the Canal School. She got a PhD in smarts.
Very, very accomplished. She is, no doubt. But what's interesting is, after Eric mentioned that, I started doing some homework and some researching, and there is some interesting stories about women in the zone. But the truth is, the era of the Canal Zone, of it, forming the American era up until the very end, was very much, in a different time when women did not play the same prominent role that they do today. So, from a historical standpoint, certainly you're not going to get chief engineers. You're not going to get, somebody operating a steam shovel and doing those things. But there was a lot of women that did a lot of things, even, for example, in the silver roll. I learned some really interesting things about the economics of the silver roll and what the people were offered as far as, amenities go, versus, oh, there we go. Panama 3, Cuba 0. Thank you.
Soccer.
Absolutely. Panama's looking good, man. Looking good. But anyway, there was a separate economy to provide a lot of goods to silver roll people that, what they were offering as far as food and accommodations and clothing really wasn't up to standards. And so, there was that other secondary economy going on in the zone and in Panama that women played a big, big role in that as well. So, so thank you, Eric, for pointing that out. We are going to definitely bring some of that content and bring that to you guys as well, because it was a big role, including of course all of our
one of our favorites saying hello.
Hey, Frank,
hello, Mr. Dupree. Good to see you from Taboga.
Yes, indeed, from the island, from the big island, we could call it, right? It's Taboga,
where President Kennedy trained, by the way.
Yes, he did. PT 101, not 109, but PT 101. But anyway, so let's take a look and see what our answer is there. If we can get that comment off the screen there on my there it is. Okay, perfect. So
wait, we have my mother fought for over a year to get the Pan Canal nurses promoted. Right on.
Well, thank you to your mother, and if you have anything that we can showcase on that when we talk about it, we'd love to get some information. So Lori, thank you so much for that. We do want to bring some of that content. So I will be reaching out to Eileen to see if we can't build something up there. So
and we would love any suggestions you guys have.
Yeah, absolutely,
on women topics.
So
Willie, one thing I do know is back in the day, because we did do a little bit on a woman when we did the Morgan's Gardens show. I mean, it wasn't just about Morgan's Garden, but we spoke about it. And back then, the lady who ran that, remember, she ran the Canal Zone women's clubs.
Right.
And those were the most elite clubs of Panama at the time.
Yes.
Where the president's wives and the general's wives and the admiral's wives were all members. So something like that can be
well. And I read something about that's interesting. You bring that up because it was purposeful in the sense that, anything outside of what the local Canal Zone government, whatever it was, ICC, Panama Canal Commission, Panama Canal Company, whatever it was at the time, was providing entertainment, and that leisure opportunity. But they were limited to what they could provide or what they would provide. And it was up to the ladies, the women, to then build these clubs and all these other organizations and activities. And
the United Way would do a lot of that.
Yeah,
funding.
absolutely.
We have done shows where we talked about several,
certainly,
like modeling, pageant shows and stuff like that.
Yeah,
back in the day.
And there was a lot of social clubs back then. Keep in mind, back in early construction days, for example, there wasn't a lot of technology. It certainly wasn't TV, right? Radio was around, but the one thing that you need for radio is a radio station. So you can send all the radios you want from the United States to the zone, but if there's no radio stations, you're not going to get anything to listen to. So really what people had for entertainment was local stuff.
Yes, you're right. We have a bad habit of doing that. Sorry. Let's go, Willie. We're just chit chatting here. Oh my God.
All right.
Thank you for that, man.
Okay. Yeah. A round of applause on that one. Yeah, we can take a hit here. Absolutely.
We got it.
Well, and
we're so
and
excited.
There's not that many questions, but okay. So according to the Isthmian Canal Commission action in April 1909, what is the standard charge for a physician's visit to an employee's home?
Oh, so we got those. What do you call those? Home delivery,
Yeah,
the doctor comes to your house.
Yeah, doctor visit, house calls.
House calls.
Yep. So was it $2? That's number one. Number two, was it $1? Pay attention there. Was it 50 cents or was it free?
Knowing the Canal Zone, I think that's an easy one.
Okay. What do you think it is, guys? 1, 2, 3, or 4 is your answer, guys.
I'm going with 4.
No pounds. So let me see what you got there, Ricky. What are you thinking here?
I'm going with 4. Let's see what you guys think.
All right. Well, here it is. Countdown coming up. Here it is. And it is
$1. They actually charged? Okay. Well, I guess you got to charge that. Nothing good is free. So I guess you got to charge.
Doctors got to get paid.
Something.
You know. Yeah. Now, I would imagine that.
I mean, that's what the Canal Zone cost was $1, right?
Well, and you think about how inhospitable the zone was, right?
That was a political thing.
That went right over my head, too, didn't it? No, but you think about the with all the diseases and all the accidents and everything, I would imagine that there was probably a big market for house calls for doctors,
Yeah, you're right,
Billy. But let's see what we got.
Canal Zone likes to do things for free, but anyways, that makes sense. $1, I guess.
Look at Chris. That's right. That's why he wanted to hurry things up.
Wonder he was rushing us because he's winning. He doesn't want to lose his. I got you. No, but we are yapping too much.
Got his Google high speed. He's probably in a good area where he's got good connection. So
good connection. Yeah. No. All right, no more yapping. Let's get through this.
And then Dodd's catching up too, though. So we got a good amount here, guys. All right, so here we go. Next question then. The new reservoir for Ancon and La Boca is designed to hold approximately how many gallons of water? I didn't even know anything about this new reservoir. I found that kind of interesting. I need to look up. I think I had asked what that was all about.
Huh? Yeah,
but in between Ancon and La Boca, there was a reservoir there that was supposed to hold how many gallons? Is it 1, 2 million gallons? Is it 2, 1 million gallons? Is it 3, 500,000 gallons? Or is it 4, 100,000 gallons?
What
are we thinking here?
I would think, if I recall right, Leafy, if you remember we used to go behind Balboa Elementary up that jungle, Leafy, that hill right behind the jump, and there was like an antenna up there. I think there was also a water tank up there. I don't know.
Well, there was one. I remember there was. You're right, because there was one in Los Rios. Up on the hill there between Los Rios and
Oh yeah, they call that the void up there. Well, I mean, if you're from Los Rios, those boys knew what the void was.
And we would go up there and climb up that thing and get inside it and swim around inside that tank. It was gigantic. Oh yeah, and full of chlorine, dude. You'd be there 30 minutes and you come out, your eyes are so bloodshot red. But we'd climb up the ladder all the way to the top and go inside. It was a big giant, metal door to.
Well, everybody's saying a lot of threes. Three. Well, let's get that drum roll in.
See what we're thinking here. 1 million
That's a big
gallons.
That thing. Where was that?
Okay, so it's completed as an emergency reservoir to provide additional fire protection for the communities of Ancon, Panama, and La Boca. In addition to the Ancon Hill site, sources detail locations of 4 main permanent reservoirs in the Canal Zone. Rio Grande Reservoir, situated on the Pacific slope about 10 miles northwest of the city of Panama. That's probably Los Rios.
Okay, yeah, for sure. That's one of Los Rios.
Okay, then they have one Camacho Reservoir located 2 miles west of Empire. So that's closer to the interior part of the canal area, Gamboa type of Chagres area. There's one here, Carabali, or it was called Gorgona Reservoir, located about 1 mile west of Gorgona. So, and again, we're talking 1909, so they may have moved. That's the other thing.
Yes, and you're right.
And then Brazos Brook Reserve, located about 2 miles northwest of Mount Hope. So interesting, but I guess it makes sense because, rainy season, you got a ton of water. You got to worry about that stuff, but you got a big fire like you had in Cologne, and it's a dry season where you get your water.
1 million gallons. That sounds about right. Yeah.
Interesting.
Like the right size. 100,000 sounds like it too.
All right, so we got Dodd Dupree jumped in front. He not only took the lead there, but he answered the fastest. Look at that. Chris Jeffrey still holding on with 5. Vern has 4. got a couple with 2, a couple of 1s there. So interesting, guys. I think there's only.
No,
a
this
couple
is a tough one, guys. We're not going easy anymore with you guys. You guys got to really do your homework and
this is actually the last
or
one,
pay
but it's
attention
gonna
because
be
a lot of
interesting.
stuff we've gone over it before.
Yes, we have. And this is
I
one.
don't
This
mean
is
that you haven't
actually
paid
the last
attention.
question here, guys. Okay. But how many feet of track were moved by the 6-track shifting machines of the Central Division during the month of April? Very specific. But again, guys, we're talking a report coming out from 1909. Okay, so if you're reading the Panama Canal report in 1909, this is what you're reading about. Okay, so
We're gonna
was
be
it
engineers.
656,000, and I'm not going to do all the numbers there, but 656,000 feet of track, 351,000 feet of track, 171,000 feet of track, or 133,000 feet of track? And this is fascinating.
I did some numbers. So the smallest one will be 25 miles. The biggest one will be 125 miles.
And now, I'm going to throw something
they
out
moved,
there for you.
In other
guys.
words, you're asking how many miles of what they're doing right there in that picture this
Correct.
Central Division did during the month of April.
Now, don't get confused by what Ricky said and think, well, the canal's only 50 miles long. Okay? You're talking about
this
how
must
many
be like 2 or 3 lanes.
Well, not only that, they're moving them constantly. Okay, I'm going to show you why here in just a moment here. But anyway, let's go ahead and try and figure out the answer. We got some good answers here.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking here, Ricky? Let us get that thing moving here and see what this answer is, guys, because this one's going to be interesting. We got some backup for it as well.
I'm going with the bigger one.
There it is.
I got 2 right tonight.
6,946 feet of track shifting.
Make it miles. Feet.
Okay, right. And here's what's really, really interesting about that and why it is that they did that. And this is what really becomes fascinating about all this stuff. You know what? Before we do that, though, no, you know what? We'll do this first and then we'll reveal the winner. So what we're talking about there, right, is in the canal operation, the construction, okay, one of the biggest challenges was Ricky kind of hinted to it earlier when we talked about the Panama Railroad and they had to move some of that stuff was one of the possible answers. Okay. And what we had learned was that when they first started building the canal, they realized quickly, because the motto when they first started from Teddy Roosevelt was make the dirt fly. In other words, as soon as you get down there, start digging. Well, they started digging and they soon realized that, wait a minute, we're digging all this dirt, all these rocks and stuff, and we got nowhere to put it. We can't even move it out of these holes here. Right. And so all these excavators are sitting around waiting for trains to finish. So that became the operation was they switched from a canal construction operation to a railroad operation. And they redid all the railroads to get this stuff going so they could now start moving this spoil because it was moving hard and fast. It was, I mean, just absolutely everywhere. Okay. And so what you're seeing here then, you know, in here is, you know, you had the steam loaders on one side. Okay. These steam shovels are working really hard. We learned the other day that they had 32,000 or 326,000 cubic, whatever that number was that each one of those scoops was. It was just a ton of spoil. Those trains, the way they had them set up, they almost would not stop moving. They would just very slowly, it was filling them up as the next one in. And each one of those train cars had 20 cars loaded up with all this rock and spoil. And here's where things get really, really fascinating when it comes to this kind of an operation is they got it to the dump sites. Remember, Balboa was basically a bunch of swamp. They had to fill that whole area in. And if you think about it, right, you think of the size of Balboa. And if you think that most of that was swamps, right, you think of Albrook, that runway, most of that was swamps. You're not going to unload stuff and put it on trucks in 1909, put it on wagons with horses and start carting it all around to Balboa to sprinkle it. Instead, you just kept moving the tracks over and over and just kept filling the whole town of Balboa in. You did the same thing with Amador.
Wow.
You think of Gatun Dam. It's a massive earthen dam that's over a mile wide and 80 feet high because we're talking about 85 feet water distance traveling up, right? So
yeah,
all
guys, that's like an 8 to 9 story building. So if you see an 8 to 9 story building, that's how high ships have to be brought up.
And not that narrow either. It's a lot wider too. It's a dam. It had to hold the pressure of the entire Gatun Lake behind it. So they had to really, so movement was a lot of stuff there. So we're asking, well, wait a minute, you get all this stuff filled up on these trains. And when they get to Balboa, when they get to Amador, when they get to Gatun Dam, now you got a bunch of people with shovels and taking all that stuff off there, right? No. This is where the real amazing innovation comes that really made the canal something feasible to build. And this was what they call the Lidgerwood unloader. And what it was a fascinating system. What they did was they would take what you see there on the image there is two cars, but really in between those two cars would be 20 rail cars that are full of dirt, rocks, and spoil. And what they would do is either they would connect that car in the back with a giant plow, or they would have it at the dump site, and when it arrived, they would connect it. Either way, it would, when it's getting ready to unload, they would have that connected on the back. On the front, you had that car that had a giant winch. Okay. It had no power to it. They had a pipe that they adapted that connected to the steam engine of the locomotive.
Mm-hmm.
And it piped the steam through into that thing. And what they would do is when they would arrive at the dump site, they would have the workers spool out that 20 car length of cable and connect it to the plow in the back. And they would run that thing and it would just come sweeping forward. Each one in between the cars, they had hinging floors that once it stopped, they would hinge them all together. So you had one long 20 car long floor that this plow would then just move forward across it and pull and dump all that dirt off. And as you can see, it's incredible. I mean, that's the innovations that you had to do to make this thing work, right? You know, you went from what would take several hours and about 5,000 men to empty. It would take 20 of those Lidgerwood units, about 120 men, and about 10 minutes to do that work. That's incredible, you know. So it really was fascinating how they came about this process and figured out that, hey, this is how we're able to keep the trains moving, because again, those trains had to now work their way back to Culebra Cut to wherever and get in line to get loaded up again and keep doing this again. And so to keep that moving, the big problem that the initial question here was moving that rail. Because once you finish in that area, all of a sudden, what are you going to get? 800 men to come and pick up these heavy rails and try and move them across? Or you get these big machines that turn around and do it for you, as you can see in the image here, and they would move that rail quite efficiently and just keep filling in. And pretty soon you have a town of Balboa. Pretty soon you have Amador. Pretty soon you have the whole Gatun Dam is built, and Albrook and all that stuff. Absolutely.
Albrook Airfield, yeah.
There was a lot of landfill that took place there, you know, where you basically used all the dirt that you pulled out of the canal and repurpose it. So, you know, fantastic job. But anyhow, so here we go. And Ricky, we can get another drum roll here to see who the winner is, and the winner of our 4-pack of Howler Monkey Sauce. Here we go, folks.
And our winner,
Chris Jeffries leapfrogged at the end. Absolutely.
All right, Chris.
Well done.
Hey, but listen, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 people participate. Thank you very much.
It was a lot. It was fun, and it worked. Yeah. We got to keep the results and everything. So, Chris, and I already have your address, so I will go ahead and get that 4-pack of Howler Monkey Sauce out to you, and definitely let us know which one is your favorite. Which is your favorite, Ricky? By the way, I always keep saying that mine is the amarillo.
Mine, the yellow one, because I'm putting it on my pizza now, which I did a couple of weeks ago. I haven't done it since I don't eat pizza all the time, but when I did, put it on your pizza. I'm telling you, it like the commercial says, it really ups your pizza game. I mean, because we're so used to pizza taste. It is heavenly, without a doubt. But if you want to try something new that you haven't tried, put a little bit of that hot sauce on your pizza.
Indeed. Well, Chris, congratulations to you, man. Well done there. That's really cool. And glad things worked out okay on the trivia machine. It actually worked the way we designed it. It was kind of cool. And point taken, Chris, you're right. We kind of want to buy some time because of that lag and stuff, and throw a little banter in. And we always, you know, the idea here is always to be
away. You guys should know me by now.
But we do. We like to yap. That's what we got microphones here, right?
So I've been yapping since I came out of my mom's stomach, man.
Yeah, no kidding, man. No kidding. So, but nonetheless, well done there. Congratulations to you. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Steve Talkerman, everybody. Sheila, Massey, you guys are all the best. We'll do more of these,
guys. These are a lot of fun. And as you can see, guys, they're very easy to participate. You just
Lori,
punch in the number,
Chris,
you know, and so
thank you so much.
It does work out well. So we're looking forward to doing another one next month. And again, don't forget, guys, next month is Panama Canal month. You know, we're going to be, Zonians yapping, no way. Yeah, right. Radio Bemba, man. That's what we are over here, man. We yap about everything, man. We can't shut up, man. But that's what makes the show fun. So, But next week we're hoping, Ricky and I are going to scramble to see if we can get some class reunion folks together, because we'd like to talk to some of you class reunion folks. Otherwise, we can do a recap, because we had a great month, right? The show with Paul Shamella, that Navy SEAL show was
that was great. We had a lot of viewers for
epic,
that. Yeah,
epic show.
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
a lot of people enjoyed that show. A lot of military folks, got to see what their role was, especially, a lot of us kind of disconnected from the zone once we moved out and left, and then Just Cause kind of brought us all back together again. So it was great to see what happened since then, and what a great role the military played and stuff. Like that Contadora thing. That wasn't a military operation, except for the fact that they were the only ones that had the capabilities of conducting that search and that rescue, or search and recovery, really. But it wasn't a military flight. It wasn't a charter flight. It wasn't that there was military people on it. It was just that they were the ones that had the capability to go, because, like you said, it was 100 feet of water. So cool stuff on that show. And then Dave had some really, really awesome causeway history this month.
Islands. Yeah, that was good too.
So yeah, we should that should be good. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, we'll wait and see here. Whoa, forgot to arrange these.
Well, we also, next week, guys, is the recap week, so we're gonna have fun again next week, recapping everything.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, no, it should be good. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I don't know why this screen is like this. It looks all wonky, but
it's all right, Willie, man. I'll think one thing. There's a lot of people doing, Panama Canal history shows, but we're the only ones that do it live.
Yeah.
So
it's not easy.
It's not easy. Yeah.
In honesty, and I would rather do it this way anyhow, in all honesty, because I think it's just it's just more fun. I mean, a lot of what we do, a lot of the fun that we
get
have
the
is
engagement. That's why.
Absolutely.
So we appreciate everybody, you guys. Thank you for allowing us to have this show.
Don't forget, guys, like and subscribe on the YouTube channel.
Please, let's get to 500.
Yeah, let's get to 500 and let's get to 1,000. Let's see if we can get to 1,000 before the end of the year. That would be really
That'd be
cool.
great.
But don't forget, again, guys, next week we're going to do a recap show. We're going to try and get some class reunion folks. So if you are class of 81 or class of 86 and you're watching right now or later on in the week, reach out to one of us. We'd love to have you guys on if you're, helping out with the reunion or got any ideas or events there. But anyhow, Ricky, the bus is saying it's time to go.
Yeah.
In la parada, so
Right, it is time to say good night, everybody. Thank you again. We love you from the bottom of our hearts. This show truly is for all our viewers, and we will see you next week at the same time, same day, with the same love. Aloha.
Take care, everybody.